What's going on for you? How could I help?
So I took the LSAT, I want to say in February of last year, and I had a lot of anxiety about it. I did not score well at all. And so my confidence in it just completely plummeted. And so I'm really thinking about taking it again. In all honesty, I just want to take it right now to kind of conquer my fear. Because I suffer with a lot of anxiety already. So I want to conquer my fear of taking the test again and raising my score. I don't have a definitive date of when I'm going to take it right now, probably in the summer, more likely. It will be this year in 2020. I will say that. But I have no idea where to start. I did enroll in, when I was studying for it the first time, in, I want to say Kaplan, the courses. So I paid for that, and did like a really condensed, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks of studying on that, and everything just kind of like just flew over my head. Like I'm not really a virtual learner. I'm more of like an in-person type of thing. So right now I feel like I'm back at square one, as if I'm taking it all over again. I didn't retain anything that I took from it. So I'm just kind of like in a place of, I want to take it to conquer my fears and to bring my score up right now, in all honesty.
I hear what you're saying, and we can get into all of that. But one question that came to mind is, now that people are under quarantine, in-person learning is no longer an option. How will you adapt to learning virtually?
I really don't know, in all honesty, as of right now, because I do work, and I work full time. And so every day something is changing with my job. So like we're working from home some days we're not. So like today, I'm not working from home. So I do have the time right now of quarantining, of when I'm not in the office, to work, because my workload is not that extremely high as to where I'm going to be spending full days at home working. So even if I work from home in a day, I might accumulate 3 or 4 hours. So I do have the time. I do want to get a regimen. Like, I want to feel like I'm being productive and not just wandering away the days. So I do have to kind of like, put some kind of fire up under me. So I was thinking about like just kind of creating a schedule of like, some of the things that I could do, not trying to bulk a full day of studying in, but if I could get a strong 3 or 4 hours in a day, then I think I'm okay.
Nice. And to be honest, most people can't really do more than 3 to 4 hours of productive studying anyway. Okay. And I agree that whether you're taking an in-person class, an online class, self-studying, regardless, a lot of the work is going to happen on your own anyway. And so no matter what your prep routine is, you've got to have that plan of attack, so that step by step, day by day, you know exactly what to do and what not to do every single day over the course of your prep. Mm-hmm. And that's actually one of the first things I put together back when I started teaching the LSAT full time. I created detailed day by day study plans to help you do just that, to help you build the foundation first before you jump into doing timed exam after timed exam. Mm-hmm. Now, when you took this course, and you said it wasn't really working for you, you mentioned that it was compressed, like an express course, just kind of condensed, in a sense.
So what happened was, initially I signed up for an in-person class, and the day that I went to class, I found out that there were not enough people enrolled in the class to have an actual teacher teach us the class. So the day that I went to class, I found out, hey, they're not even having this class. And so then I got in contact with Kaplan, and they said, well, hey, we're doing this online class. It was literally, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And you studied from, maybe like you did the work, you were online maybe 4 hours of the day. So maybe like from 6 to 10 every day. And it was a lot.
No reason to structure it that way. There's no reason to do it that way. I mean, I get in person, there's logistics of renting the room, having everybody commute there. But one of the nice things about online is that you can make the classes shorter so you don't get tired and your attention wanders. It's hard to stay focused for 4 hours in any class, whether it's in person or online.
Well, yeah, but actually that was the in-person class was canceled the day that I went. So that was the online version.
Right. And what I'm saying is that when you transition online, there's no reason to do 4 hours as a block.
Mm-hmm.
When you go online, you should gain the flexibility of having shorter, more frequent classes, because the logistics of renting the room and getting everybody together is no longer an issue. And so, I canceled all my in-person classes back in February when I saw this coronavirus thing was going to pick up. I transitioned everything online, but I also changed the model. I adapted them into my online courses where we have live online classes and Q&As. We have group coaching sessions, but there's never a 4-hour chunk or even a 2-hour chunk. I try to keep things to max 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half if a lot of people showed up to the class and I want to get to everybody's questions, but you never need to go longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering, was the issue that it was in person that you needed, or that it was you needed it to not be 4 hours in a stretch? There's different angles to look at here to figure out what really you need to best serve you over the next few months or whenever you take your exam.
Mm-hmm. And in all honesty, I couldn't say that I know. I couldn't say, I do know that, I for my master's degree, I did school online. So, I can do the work online. That's not an issue, but I felt like with the LSAT, and I just didn't retain the information. I wasn't learning. I was just kind of feeling like I was just going through the motion, if that makes sense.
Totally. I get exactly what you're saying. And so I think you've got to figure out a study plan of attack that keeps you engaged, where you've got bite-sized chunks, you know what to work on, you can take a break here or there, you can give yourself little rewards along the way, because the LSAT is a monster of an exam. There's a lot to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And if your aim is simply take it in 2020 and conquer your anxieties and fears around this, then you've got enough time to make anything happen, and you can slow down and give yourself the time you need to feel comfortable with each section of the exam, so that you walk in on test day, you're not really seeing anything new.
Okay. So I just don't know, like I said, I took my diagnostic on yesterday. I scored a 133. And in all honesty, like I told you before, I just kind of like guessed through the exam. I really don't know where to start to because I feel like my studying wasn't structured, and I know, like you said, it has to be structured. And so I don't even know how to structure the plan to even get to studying, in all honesty.
Yeah, I hear you. So I'm definitely going to recommend, again, the day-by-day study plans. I'll send you a link to those. But in the meantime, right now in this conversation, I can give you a little breakdown of what it looks like. Okay. So basically, you said you scored a 133, which means there's a lot of work to do in terms of building the foundation. I don't want you doing any full-length timed exams for a while. I also wouldn't want you doing any individual timed sections either, because we've got to slow down, help you build the foundation, doing each question by type, starting with the easiest questions, then the moderate ones, then the most difficult ones. So I typically recommend starting with games because they're the most daunting at first, most intimidating.
The logic game?
The logic games, yeah. Is that your experience as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it is for so many students. So I suggest typically starting with the easiest ordering games. So doing the easiest ordering games first, then the intermediate ordering games, then the difficult ordering games, then easy grouping, intermediate grouping, difficult grouping, easy combination, intermediate combination, and so on. So we're doing the most common types from easy to hard. Then you can pull it together with an individual timed section of logic games specifically. We're not going to give you timed logical reasoning because you haven't covered logical reasoning by type yet. But the same framework applies for logical reasoning. Easy must be true, moderate must be true, difficult must be true. Easy, most strongly supported, intermediate, most strongly supported. You get the idea. The idea. It's doing questions by type from easy to hard, only doing full-length timed sections once you've covered the basics of each type that's contained within. Then later, you pull together with a full-length timed exam, and you review it. You do another timed exam, you review that. Once you notice weak areas, you take a moment, step back, focus on those weak areas, drill those by type, maybe review articles or book chapters or video lessons covering that type. Then you go back and hit it again, see if you improve. You spend a lot of time reviewing your weak areas. You're not just doing exam after exam and measuring yourself. That's a recipe for burnout and for discouragement. But you got to give yourself the chance to learn the material first.
Okay. So you said to start with, I'm just kind of trying to recap what you said, the logic games and starting with that first. So starting with the easiest order of games to the intermediate to the hard, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I actually have categorizations on my website as well, breaking them down so you know what are the easy ordering games, what are the ordering games, period. I cover all of that and lay it out for you in general on the website, the LSAT blog, and then in more detail in the day-by-day study plans.
Okay.
I'll even tell you, like, do prep test 65 game 3, do prep test 74 game 1. I'll tell you the exact questions to work on to remove all the guesswork about what to do, because it's hard enough to study for this exam as it is. Figuring out what to do is a whole nother level on top of that. I remove that part so you can get down to business.
Okay. And so if this is on your weekly plan.
So I have a free week by week plan to give you a general framework and some guidance, but then I have a premium day by day study plan laying out exactly what to do each day. The shorter term ones are $20. The longer term ones are $25.
Okay. Okay. And so I could just get those over the website, over the internet?
Exactly. Yeah, they're downloadable. So no shipping issues or anything like that. I was talking to someone earlier who said she couldn't get her books on Amazon. The nice thing is that all my resources are digital. You can get them anywhere in the world instantly.
Okay. Okay. Great. So once I download it, am I able to like save it to a drive and then go back and print what I need?
Yeah, exactly. It's a PDF. You download it. You can email it to yourself. That way you always have it.
Okay. Okay, great.
And you can print it out too if you want.
Okay.
Some people like to do that so they can check things off as they complete them.
Yeah. I'm kind of like a hands-on.
Yeah. Okay. But the cool thing also is that I have clickable links in the PDF version, so you can click out to different articles at the relevant point at which you're covering that topic.
Okay. Okay. So what do you suggest for me for like just first starting off? So since I want to structure the studying, like I said, I don't really have a date in mind right now. Like, what would you like the weekly study plan, study guide?
What I would suggest for you right now is you're not in a rush. You want to master this. You want to give yourself the time. Obviously, the April LSAT isn't going to happen. It's only a matter of time before that gets canceled. You want to allow more time anyway. Right. June is also somewhat of a question mark because we don't really know how long this pandemic is going to go.
Right.
So since you're not in a hurry, I wouldn't worry about that one either. I would say aim for August, aim for October. Give yourself the time to truly master this material, especially if you want a significant score increase. Mm-hmm. So if we're speaking now, end of March, you've got about 4 or 5 months until August. You've got something like 6 months until October. That's a good chunk of time, especially since you're working also. You can slow down and give this the time it deserves to truly master it.
Do you do like individual tutoring and things of that sort as well?
Yeah, I do. I do one-on-one coaching. I also have courses that include live online master classes and Q&As. And then I have the small group coaching as part of the courses as well. And so I can send you some links on those. And whenever you're ready to potentially pursue those, reach out and we can talk more about it. But for now, I would say start with the study plan alone, build your foundation, build a basic familiarity. And then when you're ready for more, you could consider getting more resources or more support.
Okay. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, of course. We're about up for today, but before we sign off, what would you say is the biggest insight you got from our call today?
Just the importance, like not putting so much pressure on myself, because inadvertently that's how I feel, like I got to get it done type of thing. But just you reminding me, like, you have time, like, so you can devote the time that you need, but also the importance of structuring the study. So I think just with you being able to tell me start with logic games first, because that's the hardest, and then the easy, and then in my mind I would think you would start with the hardest first and go down to the easiest. But I think if I can remember correctly, like, they're not scoring you for what you get wrong, but for what you get right. So if I can get easiest and intermediate, those are still more points that I can accumulate towards my score. So just in how to structure the study, I think that's really good, because I just felt like before I was just all over the place. Like I just didn't know where to go. And I know that this time around, something has to give. It has to be different. I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So the importance of structuring the study, and I think you just kind of gave me a little blueprint on how to start this. So I think that's the most valuable thing that I've gotten from this.
Awesome. Well, I'm really glad I was able to help. Please keep in touch and let me know if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. But I think we're there.
Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Of course, my pleasure. Have a good one.
You do the same.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.